This half-insane, needle-throwing Psyker is perfect for any situation. For weapons, we are using the Blade Force Greatsword Mark 8, a huge sword fitted with a small battery to store and channel warp energy as the Psyker fights. For perks, we have Unyielding and Carapace to make sure this can cut through any problem in front of us. For blessings, we have Wrath, which adds 40% cleave on hit, allowing us to cut through large crowds, and this stacks up to 5 times. And Deflector, allowing us to block bullets and let us get into cover a necessity, as this class is pretty squishy. The sword is both a boss killer and a crowd clear. This is your go-to when things get too close for comfort. Additionally, there's a charge up meter on kills that when fully charged will pretty much one-shot anything in front of you on a wide arc. You don't always have to wait to use it fully charged, as this is a built-in range stagger to knock hounds off people and stagger shooters until you can get in close. Next is the Electrokinetic Force Staff, which has a primary fire of a small bolt of energy, and more importantly a secondary fire that is a bolt of lightning that will do high damage and also stun. The same perks as before for similar reasons. In Blessings we have Warp Flurry, which will let the secondary cast faster on the second and third casts, and Warp Nexus, which will increase critical chance based on your peril. This is our boss killer. Anything you don't want to get close to are large bosses like a Beast of Nurgle. The extra speed on cast feeds into the critical chance, as when you get to the third cast, your peril will be high enough to trigger this, and then you can use Scrier's Gaze to extend the time you can cast this. More on that later though. The meat of this build is the perks and how they synergize. Assail is the most important part of this build and our main weapon. The light attack is a beautiful to watch horde clear, and you can aim it for more armor piercing. You want to mix both of these fires in. This will keep your damage high and allow your needles an extra second to recharge, as the heavy attack takes a little extra longer to throw. Secondary to this, and adding a lot of damage and utility, is Empowered Psionics. This will, when active, make your Assail cost no peril, increase the damage, and make the needles not consume any charge. You will also get it on every elite kill and 10% of normal kills, and you can hold up to 3 stacks. For the most out of this, you want to charge up a stack or 2 with your sword or staff, and then when you switch to your Assail next, it will be stronger. From here, we'll take it from the top of the perk tree. First is Quietude, which is our main source of toughness regeneration, as we will be generating and reducing peril almost constantly because of fighting and Scrier's Gaze. Battle Meditation will help us generate less peril, something you'll see a lot of in this build. So the less peril, the more we can cast. Warp Splitting will help us dash into crowds after casting, and our Greatsword will cleave through more enemies based on peril level. Anticipation and Empathic Evasion will let us survive longer in melee fights because it ups dodge potential. Scrier's Gaze is an amazing part of this build as it will let you hit 50% of warp, allowing you to continue casting longer than normal, and because of warp unbound, you can keep casting on 100% peril if you need. It will up basically every part of this build at the cost of building up peril, and that's not an issue as this will generate toughness for us. And when you generate it back down, it will also generate toughness. Warp Rider and Penetration of the Soul both add damage potential as peril increases. Solidity will increase quell speed. Must for any Psyker is Magic Crystalline. A must for any Psyker that uses magic is Crystalline Will, as this will keep you from dying on an overload, and you can even weaponize it. If you're already missing a health bar, and you don't have the corruption there yet, you can overcharge in a crowd and watch them explode around you. You will not lose any health as health is already gone, you will just take the corruption damage. This build has a lot of tools at its disposal, the main one being Assail. This is your main weapon, and you want to start almost every fight with this. It is both a machine gun and a long distance rifle, and it can kill everything short of bosses and carapace armor. Those are where the staff comes in, as the staff is a boss melter that can shoot through crushers and plague augrons alike. At this point in the fight, you are likely building up a high level of peril. This is where you want to activate Scrier's Gaze, as it will event 50% of your peril and boost almost everything about you. At this point, you have 2 options. You can keep casting at a higher damage, or pull out your sword and start swinging. The sword part of this build is based around doing more damage on peril, as well as venting the peril on kills. There is also a built-in cleave mechanic, where the more people you hit, the more people you can hit on the second swing, and that keeps building up, which makes this a great horde clear build in both melee and ranged. This creates a gameplay cycle where you can endlessly cycle between melee and casting as you need. as the casting will up your peril and the melee will bend it back down. And you are still going to need to stop and throw, mostly in moments when you need your shield back. You need to keep in mind that you are very soft. This bill is a glass cannon, so remember to block and dodge, and that your sword can block bullets. You have a tool for every job here. The trick is learning when to use them, especially on higher difficulties with more enemy types coming at you at once. Watch your barometer, and happy hunting.